everyone, welcome to the next part of Wireshark. In this part, I'm going to show you the use of filters and how to sniff information in a network. If you are new in information security and not aware about Wireshark, then you can see my previous session which is about the basics of Wireshark. So let's start. Here you guys can see on my screen. Today we are going to perform demonstration on these filters, and here these are some of the important filters which we'll use to identify in the information from the Wireshark. And this one is my target on which I am going to sniff the information here. So this one is a web application where you can see an authentication page where you have to log in with your username and password, right? So to sniff the packets we need to go again the Wireshark, and here you guys can see the blue button. You have to just restart it, continue without saving, and if I reload this website, and here you can see the packets that are transmitted in the network, and you can capture or sniff those packets in the Wireshark, right? So let's start basically the use of filters. You have to stop this, and here for example we have to start with the basic filters, right? For example, you want to see the information of TCP packets, then you can just write here TCP, right? So you guys can see the information in the protocol section. You can see all the information related to the TCP packets, right? And if you just write here in the filter bar TCP, then you guys can see all the filters related to the TCP. You can use any kind of filter to identify the information. Again we have ARP filter is there, right? You can also write ARP, and you can see where the address resolution happen, right? Basically ARP is your address resolution protocol. So you can see from this IP in this laptop, destination is this laptop. Again the destination, you can see the source and the destination address, right? And here you can see how this happen, right? First of all, when you hit any request, then first it goes to your the default gateway. So you can also see all these information. You can use DNS. If there is any DNS protocol or DNS packets, then you can see under the protocol section you can see the DNS packets, right? Again you have HTTP. You want to see the packets that is transmitted in a HTTP form. You can also see those packets by using the HTTP filter, and clear this one from here. Now let's try to identify the information basis on the IPs. So let's go to my command prompt, and here I can just write ipconfig, and I'm connected with the Wi-Fi. You guys can see my IPv4. This is my IP address, that is IPv4, and you can also see the IPv6 address. So let's take first IPv4, that is 192.168.43.22. Now I have to identify information about this IP. Then you can just write ip.addr, right? So you can also see it automatically, when you just write this command or this filter, you automatically see all the filters related to this particular filter, right? So here you can write equal to 192.168 and 43.22 and hit enter. Now you guys can see the information uh, which is transmitted through this IP address. You guys can see here in the packet list, right? So this one is the packet list section. And if you only want to see the information uh, that is related to this IP address, that how the transmission happen in this IP address, you can just write here ip.src and hit enter. Now you can see in the source address, that is I192.168.43.22, right? Src is basically the source address, right? And if you want to see that how the transmission happen to this address, right, what are the response and what are the sent requests, then you can also write here dst. Now you can see in the destination tab, so this IP is in the destination tab, what transmission happens in these IPs, right? And if you want to see only the transmission between like SRC is this, and I want to take my default gateway IP, that is 192.168.43.1, right? This one is my default gateway IP. You guys can even see by using the command ipconfig in command prompt, and also you can see by using the filter, that is ARP, right? So for more filters, you guys can use different conditions like and is there, right? Pipe sign are there. So here you guys can see in the filter bar. Let me just clear here, remove this DST, and even write here SRC equal to, and then you can write here and IP dot DST equal to 192.168.1.1, or you can I can put my default gateway, that is 43.1, and hit enter. Now you guys can see the transmission between these two IPs, like source and the destination, right? So this way you guys can get the information related to the packets that are transmitted in the network on the basis of IPs. Now let's go to the IPv6. So here in my command prompt, and I just copied this one, and again going to the filter bar, and you guys can use for IPv6 dot. So here you can see all the filters that belongs to the IPv6. Right now we have to identify information on the IPv6. You can write here src equal to and paste that IP which you have copied from the command prompt and hit enter. Now you guys can see the information in the source section related to the IPv6, that what are the transmission happens, right? So let's try to capture the information of an authentication page here. Like I'm going to write here admin, right? And again go to Wireshark, restart to capture the packets, close this one, and hit on the login page and hit on the login section. So it start capturing the packets. Again, right, so we can stop the packets, and here you have to search for the information. So how you can search for that information? You can just write first with the TCP filter and hit enter. Now in this filter you guys can see all the TCP packet details, right? For example, here you can see the SYN request, and then we have the SYNAC and then ACK. So this is one, basically a three-way handshake happened, right? So this is not what we are expecting, but here you guys can see the HTTP protocol which is about the login page, right? So if you guys didn't able to find out with the TCP, then you can just write here HTTP and hit enter. Right now when you search for HTTP, you will see all the information related to the HTTP, and here our first packet is related to the HTTP, and you guys can see here this one is our packet details, and when I click this on this packet, you can also see the information in the packet details, right? What are the information that is transmitted within this packet? You can see the login page is there, right? And the application name is here, and the user agent you guys can see, and you can also see the session and cookie detail, right? You can also see all these information like session IDs are there, cookies, right? So this way you can identify information in the packet detail section, right? And if you want to see the TCP protocol, which port number, that is the source port, the request is sent from the source port, that is 2765, and the destination port which the application runs, it's 80 port. This way you guys can find out the information, and you can also see the flags, that what are the different flags set on this particular packet, right? And if you want to see more information, then you can see all these packet details, headers like frame is there, ethernet, IPv6 details are there, right? So let me show you the information, more information about this packet. You can just right click on this and you can follow the stream, right? You can follow any stream like HTTP or STCP. So here I click on the HTTP, the information is same in both the stream. Here you guys can see in the red section, it's about the request that you have requested in the application, like this is about the login authentication page request. You can see the origin, and you can also see the referrer, you can see the application name, login authentication name, and in here I'm highlighting the authentication. You guys can see this one, that user login is admin and the password is admin, right? So this is the critical finding when we test any application in our security testing. If we found this thing that is in the plain text, then we report it as a critical, and the finding name is insufficient transport layer protection, right? So this is easy for an attacker to perform or to gather information that is transmitted in the network. And here in the below section, which is in the blue, this is about the response. So it's all response from the application or server side, right? So this way you guys can identify more information, and you can select in these formats, that in which format you want to see information, right? And I'm going to close it, and here you can also again uh, this was the packet, and you can also see the information in the bytes format, right? So this way you can identify the information of an packet, and then go to more filters, uh, right? If you want to see the handshake, so handshake is also important topic. There is a three-way handshake, a four-way handshake, right? So let's try to check out about the handshake. If you guys are not aware about handshake, then you can search it on Google, and you can read about the handshake as well. So here you can write TCP dot flags dot sin. If you enter this, and you can see the information, that is what kind of handshake is what kind of handshake is happen during the transmission, like there is a synac and act. So this one is basically a three-way handshake, right? So this way you guys can also identify the handshake or the packet list. Like I have searched for sin, you can search for act, right? You can search for fin. So it depends that what kind of packets or what kind of information you want, right? So there is also another filter, that is http dot request. So you can also write this. This will also helpful, it will also help us to identify information about the http transmission. If I hit enter, you can see the information, like http information, like what as the login authentication page is there, right? All these js files. So this way you can also identify information. If you guys find it difficult to identify information, then you can just resolve the addresses. So for that you have to just click on view, and here in the name resolution you can see this information. You can just click on the resolve network addresses, and it will easy for you to get or to find information immediately. Here you can see the domain name on which we have to authenticate, right? So this way you can also uh, s- find out the information in the Wireshark, right? And you can also identify information, or if you want to search information on the basis of port, then you can just write tcp dot port equal to like 443 and hit enter. So here you will see all the ports that are related to 443. You guys can see, right? You can put 80 as well. So here the 80 port 80 80 80. So this way you can see information on the basis of port as well. And for udp you can just write udp here, and you can change port number like 53, that is for dns, and hit enter. So this way you can also see all the information for the udp ports. Aisha. So let's go to this statistic. So this one is the popular tab, we can say, or section, which will give us more information about the transmission of the packets. So here you can see like if you want to see the conversation, I just click on the conversation. Here you can see the IPv4. So this will tell you the conversation between the IPs and what type of conversation happen, right? What is the what are the type of packets, right? And how much bytes are transmitted, right? You can see all this information in the conversation tab, right? This one is TCP. This is about UDP packets. You can even see all this information, right? And you can also directly go to any stream, like any stream. You can just click on this, for example, and you can follow stream from here, right? And is if you want any other information, you can just check box from here, or if you don't need any information like ethernet, then you can check the box from here, right? So you can close it. And again we have endpoints are there. You can even check the information, same kind of information in endpoints. So in endpoints there is one thing, that is country, city, as number, and as organization. So this one is about the geographical location, right? So it also Wireshark also tells you that how we can uh, identify the information of any packet, location information of any packets. So you have, for that you have to add some of the repositories in the Wireshark. If you want to need a session on these repositories, then please you can ping me in the comment section. I will also make a session or demo for this as well, right? So here again in the in this statistics, if you just click on IO graph, or this one is implement flow graph. So here you can see all the handshake and the information, that actual transmission of the, right? So here you see all the information, and along with the IPs. So here is our target IP or target application name, right? This will also helpful for you to identify information. You have to just click here in the drop down, and you need to identify information on the network. So I click on network, and here you can see the information. And here when you see the green tabs, it means there is any synac or any handshake happen. So here you can see synac ack synac, right? And this, it will complete your full handshake. You guys can see syn snack and egg. So it here you can see your three-way handshake. So this way you can also identify the information in your flow graph through Wireshark, and you can close it. You can also select if any flows here. For example, only you want the TCP flow, then you can just click on this and you can see the information related to TCP flow. Right now you can close it. So there is a lot of information you can identify through statistics. IO graph is also there, but you can see the information this type. If you check for this, you can also use to identify like how the information transmission happens, right? So it's I don't think so. It is more helpful. So you can just view these some of the things that I told you, and you can also see the protocol hierarchy and resolved addresses. You can also check, right? A lot of things you can do in the statistics field, right? So here you guys can see in the below section there is circle which shows you the warnings and the errors, and here you can see the warnings. Like this is basically expert mode where you can see all the errors and warnings, and here I am able to see that there is a malformed packers. You can see all the details. So what is the malformed packers? The packers which is actually wrong, or we can say a part of packet is just not as expected, or which is not following the protocol specification. So this is what the malformed packet. So here you can see all the details about these kind of suspicious packets or the warnings packet, right? And if you want to save all this information, all these packets information, then you can just click on file and you can save, right? Or you can also click on this shortcut and you can save this capture file, or you can open it when you want, right? You can save it in your desktop or anywhere. So this is all about Wireshark, and if you want to read or learn more filters, then you guys can just see the wireshark.org documentation. There are a lot of things you can learn, but this is basically the idea that how we can use filters and identify information during your pen test or any kind of security testing, right? So thank you guys. Stay tuned, and if you have any questions or queries, you can ping me in the comment sections.